What is your American dream?
My American dream is to always feel that we can be ourselves and be accepted being different. That's my American dream, where we can finally embrace differences, accept differences, and include differences.
Well, of course, achieving American dreams would be to have a house, a car, but I already have all that. So now it's more like sort of leaving a legacy behind, and again, helping one another, getting to know more people, trying to do good.
This is my dream, to build this organization, to build as well a group for immigrant women, and make everyone happy.
My American dream is to be able to write more. That's what I would like to do, and help my community.
Everyone has a right to the American dream.
Groundhog Sam! There it is. Oh, hello everybody! I hope you had a great weekend. Mine was just a bit rough, to be honest with you. You know, I just couldn't sleep all weekend. I was so upset when I saw that picture of George and Brad together in Los Angeles. But then I started really thinking about it, you know? I mean, Brad, look at this t-shirt I got Brad for Father's Day. It says right here, Brad, most loyal friend. And he is. So I started thinking, there's no way in heck he would bring George instead of me on a trip. I mean, come on, George does not have anywhere near the sparkling personality I have. However, he does have some skills. He's very good at Photoshop. He really knows how to work those paws. And I was thinking, I bet that dirty rascal George played a trick on me because he knows that I've been talking to Brad about how annoying he can be. And so I figured it out. No groundhog went with Brad to Los Angeles. Nope, not me, not George. George just made a trick on me, and he got me. He really did. I'm going to have to find some new friends to hang out with. Good one, though, George. Good one. You got me. Maybe I could ask someone on the team to help me with Photoshop, and then I could do something back to George. I gotta think about this. Anyway, did you miss Friday's episode of Brad Show Live? Well, in case you did, Yonathan went to the Flag Day Parade, and we learned all about the American flag and what it means to people here in New York City who attended the event. Yay! And now, what's on today's show? Well, you just have to watch and see. In the meantime, now is the time you have all been waiting for. It's time for Brad Show Live, starring my good buddy Brad Bernstein with co-host Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. Enjoy, people, and don't let anyone ever trick you with any Photoshop. It's too easy to do. Gosh, if Groundhog George can do it, anyone can.
Happy Monday, everybody. My name is Brad Bernstein. I know how to clap. Belgium Kim, I don't know why I just did that. Belgium Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias. You also know how to clap. Excellent job. What's up? Belgium Kim walked in. I didn't speak to you all day. You said, how was your weekend? I said, wonderful.
Yeah.
It was.
You gave me no other
I
explanation.
gave you no other explanation. Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias, and your weekend.
Oh, my weekend was lit.
All lit. By the way, you guys are definitely color coordinating every day.
Not planned this.
Every day you're
if you
always
take off
color
your blazer,
coordinated.
you would be color coordinated.
I know, but I'm not. I just realized that. But you guys are color coordinating. I got to say hello. I have to say hello to Carol Anderson, the Tiger, Dionne Watson, Lisa Bling Rose, Katrina Danielle, how are you? Dite Miller, Charmaine Gooden, Jessica Leamy Joelle. Always shares to Jilly Bean. So Jilly Bean always goes, I know we're live because Jessica Leamy is sharing to me.
First up.
Fearless Michelle, how are you? Squad up. Dawn Harriet. Joselle, we have a new person saying hello, waving. Joselle Quarty. Sending a wave.
Where's that
Joselle
name
Quarty.
from?
Shay Murray says, squad up, everybody. Charmaine Gooden, Renee Adi Weller. Happy Monday to everybody. We said Jessica Kalimi already. Dawn Harriet, Jasmine McDonald, Mia Montauk, and Lisa Bling Rose says, squad up to everybody. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, always watching. Cordella Douglas popping in.
Yeah.
How are you, Cordella? We miss you.
Yes.
I have not seen her, right? She pops in and pops out these days.
Hey, it doesn't matter, but Brad is the main one to be calling people out. Let me tell you, if you miss a show, he'll call you out.
That's right. Cordella, I think, missed 2 shows in a year, and I'm calling her out, right? I'm calling her out for missing 2 shows in a year.
Do you know how many comments we get of stressed out people? They're like, I'm late, but I'm here, I swear.
That's why they're so stressed, because of you.
I'm very sensitive. Bob Dukes, how are you? I'm going to tell you something. I totally shame people into watching it.
You sure do.
really do.
Let me
I
tell you.
call them out.
They be
Really
scared.
honestly,
That's right.
They be scared.
Letha Platt, how are you? Pauline Hewitt. Shango Oya Ogun.
Ooh.
Just giving us the biceps.
That sounds very Nigerian.
Giving us the biceps. Henry Avasco says, happy Monday. And Demba Sal, all the way from Philadelphia.
All the way from Philadelphia.
All the way from Philadelphia. We learned
From
about
where?
Originally from Senegal. From Africa, I know.
Somewhere in Africa.
Somewhere in Africa. But I know he lives, I know lives in
Philly now.
Philly.
And is a man.
And is a man.
And has,
even though his name ends in an A.
Yeah.
Right?
and
He's a
he's
man.
met Joe Biden.
Correct.
Yeah, yes.
That's right. He has met
Yes.
Joe Biden. That's right.
Y'all, we can wrap
Right.
up
He's from
Demba facts all
Mauritania. It's
day.
Demba Sal, if my memory serves me correct.
Mauritania.
Mauritania.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
I think so.
Sam CD Wealth on YouTube. How are you, sexy Shan Myers? Tally Ja Love. Jenny Fernandez saying hello. Shady Green Isha Sese with a question. We'll get to it in a little bit. Now, Isha, if you are a part of the Brad Squad and you leave your question in the Brad Squad, the first 5 questions of the day in Brad Squad group on Facebook, we'll have their questions answered first. Afterwards, we will answer yours, Isha Sese. And by the way, how do you get to become a member of the Brad Squad? It's a very hard thing to do. You got to go to our membership committee, which is Belgium Kim.
Formally petition.
Yeah. Send Belgium Kim a DM.
Yeah.
Explain to Belgium Kim why you qualify to be part of the Brad Squad. The qualifications are very, very difficult. Very, very difficult.
No.
You have to actually have made a comment on our show so we know who you are. Then you are a part of the Brad Squad. You are part of our family. Is that it?
That's a real prohibitive, Brad.
Yes.
But
Now
yeah.
I will tell you about a member who's part of our Brad Squad
Who's
right
that?
now in the Brad Squad Spotlight. His name in the Brad Squad. There we go. The Brad Squad Spotlight. A little slow there. Julian, the TriCaster guy. In the Brad Squad Spotlight today is Coco Al.
Coco Al.
Now I know nothing
Coco
about
Al.
Coco Al, but we're gonna find out right now.
Oh my
snap.
God.
Coco Al is a woman.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
First fun fact about Coco Al.
A beautiful one at that.
You're a woman. Oh my God. I thought Al was a man. I was about to say I don't know anything about him.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
And Coco Al, her real name is Kosar, and she lives in Buffalo, New York. She's originally from Somalia, and she came to the United States as a refugee when she was 13 years old. She's now 25 years old. She graduated from college with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. She owns her own professional photography business.
Wow.
She's fluent in 4 languages. She started watching Brad Show Live because she always has a passion for immigration law. And she says this, I am quoting Coco Al,
Quote.
also known as Kosar.
Right.
Watching Brad Show Live every day has given me inspiration to probably pursue going to law school and be an immigration attorney one day. I just wanted to thank everyone for working on this amazing show, and special thanks to Brad for showing compassion and giving the best immigration advice to everyone. What you all do really does make a difference.
Wow.
Wow. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our comment of the day.
Also,
Comment
That
of the
was
week.
beautiful, Coco Al.
year.
And by the
Yeah.
way, when you hear Donald Trump saying he doesn't want refugees and he doesn't want people seeking asylum, they're all from shitholes, they don't offer anything. Now here's a woman from Somalia who came as a 13-year-old, speaks 4 languages, employs Americans in the photography business, and eventually is going to go to law school.
Right.
We don't want her.
Right.
Somebody we don't want.
Right.
I say this.
Okay.
To Donald Trump.
That's right.
And with that, Belgium, Kim, and Yonathan, Elias, while I stretch to get ready for schmoozing, why don't you tell everybody what they need to do, not only to become part of the Brad Squad, but also to please share this with their friends and family.
Yeah.
What's so funny? What's so funny?
Because he's making sure that he gets it right.
That instruction
That's
was
correct. Right. Because yesterday, Friday's instruction was not completely on point.
Incomplete instructions.
Right. Incomplete instructions screwed up the whole show.
All right, everybody watching. It's a new week, a new day. We're feeling good. We're feeling great. Pure white over here, okay, you know what I mean? So we need you guys right now to click the link that we're going to put in the comments. Everybody on YouTube and everybody on Facebook as well. Click on the link so you can become the official Brad Squad member, and this will give you a lot of incentives. You'll get different videos that we'll put on there, different content that we'll put on there that we won't put on any other one of our pages. So we need you guys to click on that right now. You also will get first dibs on the first 5 questions that we ask for social media questions. And you guys know, we get a lot of social media questions every day, and sometimes we're not able to get to every single one of them, but you guys will actually get the first dibs for the first 5.
Now, I have a question, Belgium, Kim, and Yonathan, because I have not visited the Brad Squad since early this morning.
All right.
Did we put our first extra content video for VIP video up yet?
We sure did. The VIP video went up this morning.
Yeah, and I missed it. I must have went on before the video went up.
Are you part of the squad?
I am part of the squad, but I don't get it in my Facebook feed for some reason. I don't know. But I went and looked this morning. What was that video? What do you get? What did we put up?
We put up one extra story of schmoozing today. And Brad, we've even got another one already planned for this.
That's right.
Oh.
Right. We answered our first question in the Ask Us Anything.
Oh.
Yes,
I
that's
think that
going
question,
up.
Who was that question?
That was a question for you, Yo-Yo.
That was a
They
question.
want to know your shoe size.
That
was a dirty
that's
that's
a
naughty, dirty question. But we talked about it.
It was a naughty question that I answered.
Did Yo-Yo answer? Yeah. And how did he
answered
answer?
it well.
You're going to have to be a
you
member
won't
of the
know
Brad
how I
Squad.
answered it unless you click on that link right now. So make sure you guys click on that link and just press join, and we will literally right now accept you. It's not as hard as Brad says it is.
That's very hard. It is very hard.
It's not.
Yes.
Also, everybody on Facebook, we definitely need you guys to please share. I need you guys to share right now. Every single one of you guys, just like we show every day from all of our spotlights, our Brad Squad spotlights. A lot of them find out about the show from you guys sharing. So, and the way you guys have to share is just click that little arrow that says share, and share it to anybody's page, share it to different groups that you think might benefit from the show or just might think it's entertaining. And also please share it into anybody's inbox. Create a group on Facebook. It's so easy, of your friends, and send it to them. Just send it to all of them, all right? And also you guys can start a watch party, and a way to start a watch party is press that share button again. A couple options down says start a watch party, and it literally sends a whole ding notification to your entire friends list. It's that easy. All right, and we of course want you guys to enter. I like this little clap thing. I think Brad got me on the clap.
We're clapping today, right? There we go. Yeah, you ready to make a meme? 1, 2, 3, go.
That's a great
meme. Okay.
Also, we definitely want you guys to interact. Like, love, sad face, wow face, happy face, mad face, whatever you're feeling, especially when we talk about the different things that's happening in this world today with Schmoozing with Brad. We want to hear what you guys have to feel about it. And also, of course, social media. Your social media questions have to go in the comments right now. Everybody throw them in there right now so we can make sure that we get yours. Of course, the official Brad Squad members will get the dibs, the first dibs of the first 5, but you guys, of course, will get the ones after, okay? And Kimmy, what are we going to be doing on YouTube?
On YouTube, you guys know that you also have a very important job to do. The very first thing is that if you are listening to the sound of our voices and have not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you doing, fam? Hit subscribe and make sure to hit that little bell right beside it so that you get a notification every single time we go live because, you know, it's around 5:30, but who knows?
Around.
So make sure, and always be ready for those pop-ups. You never know when we might pop up right on YouTube. Also, make sure that you are sharing that link. It's the easiest, best, biggest thing you can do for us. Hit share, hit copy link, and paste it into WhatsApp messages, into Instagram, into your Instagram bio, in tweets, wherever you want to paste that link. And of course, make sure to tell us everything you're thinking and feeling in those comments, because YouTube family, I am still very much on a mission to get you guys as turnt as the Facebook comments. So let's make that happen and give us a thumbs up right this second, family. It makes Brad feel real good.
It does.
And now is the time you've all been waiting for. We're gonna be schmoozing with Brad.
There you go. There you go. I noticed Yonathan hasn't been saying that lately.
I never say
You
that.
gave
I
up
can't.
saying schmoozing, right?
That's why I only do the beginning of
right,
that
that's
one.
right.
And do
You
the
gave- I
end.
noticed that, but nobody filled me in on that. I just my keen intellect figured that out.
I think I'm pretty good at schmoozing.
No, schmoozing.
Okay, so that's
You
why I
can't
don't
say
do
it.
it. All right.
Any event, Belgium, Kim, Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, I have in my hands the top 71 top news articles of the day today. I could barely hold it.
So
Ready
heavy.
to do, I could do like, you know, some of this. I don't know if I'm fanning myself or
fan the whole
doing
studio.
biceps.
It's
or a little both.
It's a heavy news
It's a
day,
heavy
Brad,
news
so you're
day.
gonna have some heavy cards.
Well, I do. So, in all seriousness, Donald Trump on Friday said that he was going to have a mass deportation. He tweeted out, "Be careful, everybody out there. There's going to be a mass deportation. We are going to deport hundreds and hundreds." I don't know if he used the numbers, but I think he said hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. And there was a lot of comments in
Yes.
our comment section telling people, be careful, be careful. He says he's going to remove millions. It wasn't even hundreds of thousands, millions of people. And I said to everybody relax. He can't do it, number one. It's all rhetoric, number two.
Yep.
Everybody's entitled to a deportation hearing, so nobody's getting removed. The only people that he could actually go and knock on a door and pick up are people who have outstanding orders of deportation and removal. And guess what? They do that every day. They actually did it more under Barack Obama than they have done under Donald Trump, because he is moving resources to other areas like building walls at the border and detaining 6-year-olds in a jail. So as a matter of fact, Obama actually removed more people than Trump, believe it or not.
Wow.
Obama was the deporter in chief. Okay? So what I said is it's rhetoric. So what happened 24 hours later, Belgium Kim? He tweeted out. Remember I said to you, he tweeted out, he goes, "Because the Democrats have said not to do it, I've decided not to deport anybody."
Yeah,
Because
right.
he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it.
Because they're already, in other words, they're already doing it.
Right.
They send out teams of ICE officials. They have so many ICE officers. They have so many investigators. They're doing it around the clock, and they're knocking on people's doors, and they're picking people up with outstanding warrants of deportation. That doesn't mean that because you're a minority, it doesn't mean because you're an immigrant, that they're going to come knock on your door and all of a sudden you're going to be in some detention camp. It's not happening. And I knew it wasn't going to happen, and I was clairvoyant when I said it.
You were.
Right. Meanwhile, U.S. Border Patrol found 4 bodies, including 3 children, near the Rio Grande in Texas.
Oh,
Now, 3 of the deceased were children. 1 was a toddler. 2 were infants. And the woman who was
gosh.
deceased was a 20-year-old woman
Oh my
escaping violence and from Central America. Why are these 4 people dead? Because Donald Trump and the ICE and Department of Homeland Security and our friend and your friend Stephen Miller, who's really not our friend, has decided not to allow people to come to the border and apply for asylum.
Right.
He is turning them away. People get desperate. They're so desperate that they are willing to die.
Yeah.
They are willing to be in jail. That's how bad it is back home.
Right, yeah.
Think about how bad it is back home, that people are willing to die and have their children die to come here.
I mean, you also have to think about like the way you're dying. So I come from family that were refugees,
Right.
and they had to flee their country because of the way they would have died there. They would
Correct.
have rather died on the refugee camp,
Correct.
or at least trying to get
Correct.
to America.
Correct.
So it's sick.
It is
It's
sick.
It's
And by the
sad.
way, we're not saying, I'm not like some crazy, progressive that, Trump says, oh my God, abolish ICE, no borders.
No, you never say
I never say that.
I never say that.
America needs security, no
Yeah.
question about it. But there's a sane way to do it,
Yes.
and there's a humane way to do it.
Absolutely.
And what we are doing right now is we are showing the worst of America, not the best of America.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are jailing children. We are separating children from their parents. You read these articles every day about 7-year-olds sleeping on cold floors without food, not changing their clothes for weeks on end, getting a frozen burrito and being starving and starving in a jail. And why are we doing it? Because we are trying to make their life so miserable here in a jail that they stay in their miserable home back in Central America. But think about how miserable their home has to be that people are still willing to do it.
Right.
So what does Donald Trump do over the weekend or last weekend? He says, we're going to not give aid to these Central American countries anymore because they're sending too many people to America. If you want to stop people from coming to America, then put the money into making their lives better where they are. Because other than that, they're going to keep coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is cutting your nose to spite your face if your ultimate goal is to keep people in their home countries.
Absolutely. If people are so scared, you're absolutely right, Brad. If people are so scared that they're going to die if they stay where they are, they have no reason to not leave.
Can you imagine somebody was willing to risk their life with their 3 toddlers?
Exactly.
Okay, can you imagine? Because that's how bad it is
What
back where they are.
Going through. You're right.
Horrible.
You're totally right.
Meanwhile, Illinois is, thank God for Illinois, Governor J.B. Pritzker on Friday is banning private jails that are detaining immigrants in the state of Illinois.
Nice.
It's not going to make a difference, but at least it's a stand.
Absolutely.
Okay, and we talk about this on our show a lot, that these private jails are money makers. They are money makers for U.S. corporations to enrich themselves, and what is their commodity? Housing people who are maybe non-criminals who are escaping violence from other countries. There are cheaper ways in which to do this. We can take the same amount of money, put an ankle bracelet on somebody, give them a quick removal hearing in 2 weeks, and save money rather than building walls, putting military on the border, and housing immigrants who are not necessarily criminals.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, as we were talking about, there's a bunch of lawyers who did an interview with over 60 children at a Border Patrol station in Texas, and a team of attorneys who recently visited the facility near El Paso. And when the lawyers saw, it was disgusting. They saw a 2-year-old boy. He wasn't wearing a diaper. He had wet his pants, and his shirt was smeared in mucus.
Oh my God.
They said at least 15 children at the facility had the flu. Children told lawyers that they were fed uncooked frozen food or rice and had gone weeks without bathing or a clean change of clothes. Holly Cooper, an attorney who represents the detained youth, said, quote, in my 22 years of doing visits with children in detention, I've never heard of this level of inhumanity. Seeing our country at this crucible moment where we have forsaken children and failed to see them as human is hopefully a wake-up call to the rest of us. Now, many children the lawyers interviewed had arrived alone in the United States-Mexico border, but some of the kids had been separated from adult caregivers. Now, government rules call for the children to be held by the Border Patrol for no longer than 72 hours. They are being held for months and months.
Oh, my God.
And months. So we're talking about this. And reason, by the way, one of the reasons why Donald Trump is kind of softening up on immigration, the same reason why he called off the strike against Iran, because he said he was cocked and loaded.
Right.
I think he meant to say he was locked and loaded. You know, if Stormy Daniels, if Stormy Daniels was visiting the White House, perhaps he would have been cocked and loaded.
Ew.
But but if Stormy Daniels is not visiting the White House, I think the term he should have used was, I'm locked and loaded. Okay, despite all of this, he called off the bombers about 10 minutes before they were about to strike.
Right.
And really what he decided was he'd rather be reelected because a war, that would be end of his presidency.
100%.
Okay, so he's all bluster and no follow through. He's a man who gets on, destroys agreement, at least keeps Iran non-nuclear for a decade.
Right.
Not saying it was the best agreement in the world.
Not at all.
Actually was against it when it was signed. But it was working.
Right.
It was working. And now He destroys that agreement. Iran is building a bomb. He threatens them, and then does nothing about it. Causes a whole crisis. Same in North Korea.
Right.
Are we any safer from North Korea?
Of course.
Nope.
No. Rocket Man, he's building his rockets.
Nope.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. He still has it. All right. What else? Meanwhile, I thought this was very interesting for people who want to see some action on immigration.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Fox News.
Fox News.
It was very fair and balanced.
They're well known.
Really?
Very well known to be very fair and balanced.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows.
Yes.
Right.
They said by a wide majority. This is a Fox News poll that came out over the weekend.
Okay.
By a wide majority, 73% of Americans say Donald Trump has gone too far on immigration.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Wow.
And favor giving legal status to young people brought to the United States illegally as children.
Oh wow.
Okay, so that's promising.
That's
That is
very
for
promising.
Fox
That is
to say
promising.
that.
I really hope that
Yeah.
those people vote
I
on
hope
that
so,
issue
too.
as well.
Now, what's interesting is that even though you think that the Trump voters, the number one reason why they voted was the immigration issue, it really wasn't. Okay, people think it was the immigration issue. It was more of a kind of a murky, cut my taxes, keep my status as it is, than sheer immigration.
I think that he was talking to people who had just not been talked to
Yeah.
at all, and I think
Right.
you're absolutely right.
Now, George Takei,
Yes.
okay, he was on Star Trek. He was
Yeah.
the Asian guy on Star Trek.
He was
wasn't
Sulu.
He didn't say beam me up, Scotty.
No.
He was not. What was his job?
Oh, that's.
What was his
no,
job
no.
on the Enterprise?
He was Sulu.
But what did he do? What did he do? Did he drive the?
Did he
drive
push
like
the button.
the
He
ship?
was like pushed the button.
Yeah, push
Does
the
he drive
buttons.
it? He put it into like hyperspeed or something?
Yeah, like he's,
I think he was mainly the maps guy, right?
I
Google Maps.
thought he put it into hyperspeed. He was the Google Maps
He
guy.
was the
He's the
USS
Google-
Enterprise
he's-
Google Maps.
Oh, but he didn't beam anybody anywhere.
he
right?
actually
No.
wasn't
There was
he,
no
Scotty.
beaming.
he was on
That was Scotty.
Celebrity Apprentice
Yes,
one year
yeah,
too. I watched that season.
But it's very funny because Jill was talking to me about this, and I said to Jill, I said, "What did this guy do on the Enterprise?"
No, he was big
And
on
Jill
there.
didn't know either, and I said, "All right, you'll let me know before the show," but never got back to me. So we
He
don't
wasn't
know.
he like the only Asian on there?
Yeah, he was
though?
the only,
And that
he was the
a
only
long time.
minority in space.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay.
Well, no, there was a black.
No, that was in
black
that was
guy.
in the next generation. The first generation had no blacks.
The Klingon was it?
Yeah.
Oh, he was in the first one?
Yeah. This
Oh,
was the first
wow.
one. Yeah, no, the next generation they found a minority to go into space.
Okay.
All right, but the first trip it was all white people
Yeah,
and an Asian dude.
okay.
Okay, so it's true. So he wrote his parents were in a detention center. His parents were in a detention center during World War II.
Oh wow.
And they called it an internment camp.
Right.
Where they put the Japanese in because they didn't know in World War II. They didn't know of the Japanese who were living in America, who was a good guy, who was a bad guy.
Right.
Turns out they were all pretty good guys. They were all pro-American, but at
Right.
the time, scare tactic. They put all the Japanese in internment camps.
Fear mongering, if you will.
Internment camps, if I'm saying it right. So he wrote in an op-ed in Foreign Policy magazine that at least during the internment during World War II, when I was just 5 years old, I was not taken from my parents. At least during my internment, my parents were able to place themselves between the horror of what we were facing and my own childish understanding of our circumstances. At least during the internment, we remained a family, and I credit that alone for keeping the scars of our unjust imprisonment from deepening on my soul. Can you imagine? Wow. Can you imagine these children are going to be so screwed up for life, just emotionally screwed up for life on what's going on.
Absolutely.
I mean, think about it. I think about it like my own children. Can you imagine your own child had to go through this? How they'd be on a psychiatric chair for 40 years.
And not only that, but also the parent that brought their children here, because the parent, their main thing is I want to protect my family, and I'm bringing my family into this travesty. That puts a whole strain on your, emotions as well. So like the whole family is just affected.
Well, and we've talked to people on this show, like Dr. Mona Hanna-Attisha, who had discovered the Flint water crisis. She talked about toxic stress syndrome and what that does to a child's developing brain. And now we have thousands, if not tens of thousands of children who are going to grow up like this, and we have no idea what long-term impacts they're going to have.
I don't know. It's going to be terrible, though.
You're absolutely
It's going to
right.
be terrible for
You're
them.
absolutely right.
And then imagine if they end up having to go back to Central America.
Ooh.
What kind of services are they going to get there?
Exactly.
Meanwhile, in stupid news of the day,
Stupid news.
because we got to get to some stupid news.
Yeah.
Donkey of the day.
All right,
Thank
the
you.
stupid news of the day.
Thank you, yeah.
Riviera Beach was hacked by some ransomware after somebody in the government offices pressed an email, and the ransom people, the people who gave the virus
Right.
to Riviera Beach, they wanted $600,000 in Bitcoin
Oh, man.
to get the virus off.
How much money
Okay.
does Riviera Beach,
I don't
Florida
know,
have?
but they said, screw that, we're going to buy our own computers instead.
Okay, got
But that was
it.
$950,000.
Okay, so more than the ransom.
Right, more than the ransom.
Got it.
So they paid the ransom. Can you believe that?
Wow.
After they got the new computers? It
No,
didn't
before
work?
they got the
They
new
didn't
computers,
get it.
they said, forget it, we'll pay the ransom. Can you imagine if
And they got away?
if I was the governor? Yeah, and they paid it, and then it went away. If I was the governor, I would pay $10 million, okay, before I gave one penny. Because now, guess what's going to happen to Riviera Beach?
They're going to keep
You're
on
gonna keep doing
yeah,
it.
absolutely.
You keep doing
That's
it. What
why
idiots.
you never agree to the ransom. You
Correct.
pay more
No,
if
but
you have to pay more to get the
That's
computers
ridiculous.
or whatever.
Yes, but this is like a plague. There are city governments and federal authorities that are being taken hostage by these hackers, and it's putting the entire town in a standstill.
It's gonna be
and they
worse
don't have
now.
an
Buy
option.
new computers.
No,
Right,
but it
that's what I'm
wasn't-
saying.
The new computers didn't work.
And the new computers didn't work.
No.
Oh, is that what
They
happened?
bought
Jill
the-
is telling
they
me in
bought
my
them?
ear
They
that the new
bought the new
computers.
computers.
Oh, and it didn't work.
And it didn't work.
And then that's when they paid the
Oh.
ransom.
They had no choice.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like the
Damn.
911 affiliates couldn't, dispatchers couldn't enter the stuff into computer systems and stuff. It's really scary.
See, I always believe. By the way, and by the way, I'm saying this is my opinion. I'm not saying this is a fact in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
But I always believe that these, security things that you buy on your computer, you know,
Yeah.
that washes away all like your viruses.
Like your Norton antivirus.
Well, I don't want to say any companies.
Sorry.
Okay. But but I always believe that they're the ones who put out the virus and then sell me the
I be thinking
and then
that too.
and then sell me the
I
software to
think
take
that
it
too.
off.
I'll be thinking that too.
Yeah.
Listen, all of those tech companies are like that. Whenever
I
a new
think they
iPhone
do.
comes
I
out,
think they
your
do.
old iPhone will stop working
Yeah, I
real
think
quick.
they do,
You're
yeah.
right.
And finally, the world's ugliest dog.
No.
The world's ugliest dog.
I saw these on Instagram.
His name or her name is Scamp the Tramp.
That-
And Nab,
Look
this
how cute he
dog,
is.
this is actually a cute dog.
It's
Why
not,
is this the world's ugliest dog?
It's not ugly.
It won the 31st annual World's Ugliest Dog Contest, and it's held in Pomona, California. The competition isn't designed to poke fun at these little dogs. Rather, organizers want more dogs to be adopted. This was an adopted dog. Now, in 2014, Scamp was adopted by Yvonne Moronis at a shelter in Compton, California. An hour before, this was an hour
That looks
before.
like a cool dog.
An hour before this dog was ready to be put to sleep.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So second place honors went to a Pekingese named Wildting. Now, where's Wildting? Do we have a picture of Wildting? There's Wildting. All right.
Ugly dog.
And third went to Tostito, a Chihuahua. We have Tostito the
I
Chihuahua.
like Chihuahua. Ooh,
There's
now that.
None of these dogs are
No,
ugly.
now that one
He's
is
not great looking.
a little physically challenged.
Yeah.
That
last year's victor was a true champ, an English bulldog named Jaja, who endeared herself to the judges by sneezing and drooling on them. We have a picture of Jaja. No, we do not have a picture of Jaja. All right, too bad. All right, Belgium, Kim, Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias. That's all the news we have for today. A lot of really sad news. We had to end it with at least something
I like that.
cute and funny.
Thank you.
And Belgium, Kim, Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, please tell everybody to share one last time. Tell them how to join the Brad Squad while I stretch all of my hamstrings and get ready to answer.
Yeah.
At least, yeah, I'm stretching my hamstrings.
I like
real tight.
How about like your mouth, like your jaw? Or
No, just my hamstrings. I get up, I raise my head, go down,
What troubled me was all of the hamstrings.
Just
like
I
you
only have
own
two.
many
I only have
hamstrings.
two, both.
I gotcha. Okay, Squad, on Facebook. For the very first thing that we want you to do, we want you guys to become a member of the Brad Squad. How do you do that? The way that you do that is that you follow the link. We're going to post it in our comments right this second, family. Right now, we're going to post it in our comments. Follow that link, ask to join the group, and Yonathan and I are here on standby, waiting to accept you and welcome you into the Brad Squad family with open arms. And the only thing we ask in return for all of that extra goodness and all of the fun that the Brad Squad brings is just a little bit of sharing, fam. The way that you do that is hit that share button. It's a little arrow. It says share. First, send it as a message. Send it in people's inboxes. Slide up in those DMs to someone that you haven't talked to. Maybe it's your kindergarten teacher that you're now friends on Facebook with. Go let them know. You never know. Everybody needs help with immigration, fam. Everyone knows someone. Also, make sure that if you haven't done so yet, like and follow our page and hit that little bell to make sure that you get notified every time we go live so you don't miss a second of all the fun. And make sure to let us know, finally, to exactly everything you're thinking and feeling. You know these calls get a little bit crazy. You know we have some stories for you. You know we're going to interact with you. So make sure to tell us everything you're thinking and feeling. And Yo-Yo, what do we do on YouTube?
Absolutely, on YouTube. First, I want you guys to subscribe if you guys have not subscribed. If you guys are new viewers, because I see we have a lot of new viewers here today. So I want you guys to subscribe to the account so you can know anytime and every time we come on, just like that. Press that little red rectangle button that says bottle.
Everybody's got a
It's
thumb.
been a weekend.
Right? Everybody's got a thumb. You
Everybody
can do
has
it.
a thumb.
That's right. Or a pointy finger.
Not everybody.
Well, if you don't, you can use your nose.
Anything warm.
Anything, right? You know, try to headbutt it. Headbutt your phone.
So definitely subscribe, but also I need you guys to share as well, so you guys are not off the hook. Just because
By the way,
Facebook
if this was
is
Hump Day,
sharing.
we would have said something else.
We would have, but it ain't Hump Day yet.
That's right.
Tune in on Wednesday. You'll see what we would have said, because we probably will say it a couple of times. But please, everybody, you guys share. Facebook is not the only ones that can share. We need you guys to share as well, because the subscriber count on YouTube has been growing crazy, and it's all because of you. All you have to do is copy the link, send it in a WhatsApp group. We love to see you guys start a whole group in WhatsApp, friends, family, even strangers that you meet on the street. If you know someone is, no, seriously, because I meet a lot of strangers on the street, and I'll say, hey, if you're an immigrant or know anybody who is an immigrant that needs some help, I'll put their contact in my WhatsApp or my group meet and just put all of them all in one group and literally just copy the link and send it out. It's like, hey, just a reminder, you guys, the show is on. If you guys have any questions, need any help, or want some entertainment, because we are pretty entertaining, just watch it. So click the link and copy it and send it in the WhatsApp group, GroupMe group, or any of your social media. We definitely want you guys to interact as well. We want you guys to comment as much as you can and want. All right, this is your world. This is for you guys. We do this for y'all. So this is your 2 hours of the day where you can just let loose and type whatever you want. All right, do that.
Julian, stop the music. I thought he was like,
No,
it was
he's
like
not.
Academy
No.
Awards. It's enough.
No,
Well, I just
we're
want
not
to say,
done yet.
I just want to say one last thing. Please, please, please become a member of the Brad Squad. It's a very easy application. All you have to do is put a comment on Facebook, put a comment on YouTube, go to our Facebook group, Brad Squad, and not only are you going to get to interact with all the people who watch our show every day, you're going to ask us anything. Every day, we're going to answer a question and ask us anything. The first question asked, I forgot who asked it, they want to know Yo-Yo's shoe size. You're going to see it in a few days. Also, you're going to be able to leave your social media questions in our Brad Squad group, and we promise to answer the first 5 questions every day from Brad Squad members, because you love us every day, you watch our show every day, we want to give back the love. And Yonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, Belgium, Kim, any last words before I'm done stretching?
I know.
Anything less?
Definitely, definitely. Everybody on YouTube right now, I need you guys to press that thumbs up. Everybody that's watching, show us love, show us how much you guys love this show and care about it. Now, this is what you guys have all been waiting for. When you guys call in and Brad answers your questions with getting answers to your immigration questions.
All right, we got Frank in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Frank, how are you? Frank?
Yes, Brad, can you hear me?
I do hear you, yes.
How are you, Brad?
Good, what's going on?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for, your show, because I've been watching your show for a couple of days, and I couldn't even sleep. You know that.
Really? You couldn't sleep because you were so excited watching us? Wow.
Yeah. Nobody
Very
told me
impressive.
about you.
Yeah, Frank. That makes me feel very good, right?
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to have trouble sleeping now knowing Frank can't sleep watching me.
You're keeping
You're
Frank
going to
up
keep
all
me up
night.
right now.
Both y'all about to keep each other up.
All right, what's going on?
Yeah.
What's your question?
So I got 4 little quick questions
4.
for you.
Okay.
So my friend is a U.S. citizen, and his wife got B1, B2 visa,
Right.
and after that, her I-130 got approved 1 week later. So can she come
Where
to
is
the
she?
U.S.?
Where is she right now?
She's in Africa.
Okay. She has a tourist visa, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the story. You are allowed to come to America to visit. You are
Okay.
not allowed to come to America on a visitor's visa for purposes of getting a green card.
Okay.
There is a possibility that when she comes into the airport, they will say, you have a problem, lady. You've already filed for your green card. How do we know you're just coming to visit and not live permanently? If she testifies in the airport, one of 3 things could happen. Either they can say you're lying and they can deport her at the airport. It's called a summary inadmissibility. They could let her in and say you're ineligible to adjust your status. Or they could not say anything and just let her in. Those are 3 possibilities. I don't know what would happen. It all depends on each particular individual. Now, if she does come and visit, she has to wait at least 90 days before, if you're thinking in the back of your head, well, what if she comes? Can she get her green card here? Well, A, she can't come for the purpose of getting her green card, but let's assume she comes without the purpose of getting her green card. Let's just assume she comes with the intent of visiting her husband and then stays 90 days and then wakes up one morning and goes, aha, maybe I should get my green card. She can file her adjustment after 90 days, but, you're taking risks by doing all of this. My advice would be, you have an I-130 approved, she's a few months away from getting her green card, just finish the process up.
Okay, but the purpose is her husband is in the hospital for now. Reason why she got a visa.
Okay, so then yes, she should come. Absolutely. If her husband's in the hospital, she should be by her husband's side.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, so the second question is, how long does it take for somebody who he's on the food stamp to be filed for somebody for A680?
In A what?
664. For A664.
If somebody's on food stamps, they're gonna the affidavit support's gonna be useless. They got to get off food stamps.
For how long?
At least 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the third question is, how about if for this year you filed less than 10,000, but the couple previous is 43,000 and 37,000.
They're gonna base it on your income this year, so you're gonna need an affidavit.
Oh,
support
this
from someone
year?
else. Yes.
Okay, so for the last question is, how long does it take the I-30 for a U.S. citizen?
An I-130 takes about 9 to 12 months right now. It should take 6, but it's taking 9 to 12.
Yeah, what I'm saying is from the USCIS to NVC, from NVC to the EU embassy.
Okay, USCIS to NVC is about 8 weeks. Depending on how fast you work with the National Visa Center, you can finish the whole National Visa Center in a little over 90 days.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, Brett.
You're very welcome. Thanks for watching, Frank.
Uh-huh.
All right, so when I can't sleep at night, I'm going to be Frank.
Oh, gosh. You're going to have
You guys
Frank's
are going to
name.
be tossing and turning together.
Talking to each other.
Yeah. I'm going to text him, Frank, you up? I can't sleep.
Better not say that. Frank going to be all up in that.
Yeah. Frank's going to be
Brad.
like, why is this guy texting me? That's weird.
This guy from the show I watch is sliding up in my DMs at 2 a.m.
It's very strange. All right, Brendita again from Lenore, North Carolina.
Hey.
Every day she's calling. How are you? Brendita.
Yes.
How are you?
Brendita's the new Muhammad.
Yes.
No, it's Bernardita.
Oh, Bernadita.
Bernadita.
Okay. They got their name.
but in my Facebook, it's Dita.
I see. Okay. All right. 3 days in a row now, Bernadita.
That's right.
no,
Lenore,
she's
North
the-
Carolina.
From
Showing
Lenore-
up
as soon as I see Lenore, North Carolina, I know who it is.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm Jennifer's sister.
I knew it was Jennifer was the other.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, I thought she was changing her name so she didn't think. So she didn't
That is
think that I would.
Bernardita.
I
My
understand,
name.
but I thought because Lenore, North Carolina is a very small town.
Yeah.
So I thought you changed your name so I would take your call again. But in fact, it's the sister. Okay, what is your question?
My question is, when my mom passed away, and I'm trying to get my siblings, my 2 brothers,
Right.
and I hired a lawyer. Somehow, she never really give me an answer.
Okay, so let me give you an answer because I know this case already, like the back of my hand, because we've talked about it on 2 other shows. If your mom filed for your brothers and sisters and the I-130 visa petition was approved, and
Yes,
then
it's approved.
subsequently your mom passed away, which is what happened, only because I've talked to your sister for the last 2 shows, I know this. And your brothers and sisters are in the Philippines.
In the Philippines.
Right. You, as the brother or sister, can step into the shoes of your deceased mom. You can write for a humanitarian waiver, not through the National Visa Center, but through the USCIS. You literally write USCIS and request a humanitarian waiver to step into the shoes of your deceased mom. A close family member like yourself can do that. And what is a humanitarian waiver? A humanitarian waiver would be, my brothers and sisters need to come here because of economic reasons, because of family unity, because of maybe medical concern. There's a lot of different humanitarian reasons why they would need to be reunited with you. Any one of those would work. And then once USCIS approves it, then you can complete the case. They go back online to the same spot they were before your mom passed away, and they can get a green card. So I'm not sure what your lawyer did or what your lawyer didn't do.
I don't really know,
but that is
I
the
was,
process, and we could obviously help you if you need help.
And she even told me that my brother, the one that's married, is not qualified. And I said, how come? Because I know someone that did petition their siblings.
So then I don't know. I can't read your lawyer's mind, but we can help you. Hold on one second, okay? Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Christine in Brooklyn. Christine.
Hi, Brad.
What a way to
Wow.
What an entrance.
Wow. Excuse me, Christine.
Hi, Brad. How are you? How was your weekend?
Okay, just getting you back. I'm only kidding. All right, what's up?
Hi. So I'm calling on behalf of a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
She has been married to her husband for 5.5 years, I believe. So they asked they filed the I-751. I think that's the petition for
remove the conditions.
I-751. Am I getting that right?
You are getting it right.
So she filed for divorce from her husband because he's been in and out, he's going in and out of prison.
Okay.
And they sent out an RFE for a final divorce. And she's not going to be able to get the final divorce before the date that she has to reply. She wanted to know, she thinks the case is going to be denied. Can she refile a new I-751?
She'll file a new one if it gets denied, and she'll have to file that before she gets put in removal. So respond to the RFE as best as you can. Here we are with the divorce. We're this close. This is the documents, however you want to describe how close you are. And hopefully they will hold the case, and you request them to hold the case open pending the completion of the divorce. Most likely, they will deny you. Hopefully, they keep it open and give you another RFE. But if they deny you, then you want to refile a new I-751 immediately based on a bona fide marriage that terminated in divorce. And even if your divorce isn't done by that time, by the time USCIS looks at your papers and sends you an RFE, which is the request for evidence for the divorce, hopefully your divorce is done at that point.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's not for me, it's for a friend of mine.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Hold on if you need help. Let's go to Misa in Blue Rock, Arkansas.
Hey, Fred.
Hi, Misa. How are you?
Good. I have a question. When I filed 751, me and my husband we were separated, and my case is a transfer from Texas to VAWA Center. Then when I called them in,
1 second. When you filed your I-751, you filed as a joint application, and then you requested a waiver based on abuse, being an abused spouse.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. All right. Continue.
And I called them, and they told me it's like already my case is pending, and still I didn't get it, nothing. Didn't get it, the receipt number, nothing. Then I keep call them, and they told me like I have to send a letter. I send a letter.
Well, let me ask you a question. How do you know they even have your application? Well, you don't.
As I checked the money order and I called them, then they told me
the money order was cashed.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so if the money order was cashed, they have your file, and then you just need to follow up with it. And
okay.
And so as long as the money order was cashed, somewhere is your application is being processed. So what I would do is on the money order, they would write your case number is on the money order. Get a copy of that money order if you don't have it. You will find your case number. Whoever took your application and cashed your money order wrote the case number. Where if it was sent to the Vermont Service Center, for example, it would start with EAC. If it was sent to Texas, it would start SRC, whatever it is. And so on the money order is your case number, and you follow up and say, hi, my name's Misa from Blue Rock, Arkansas. Here's a copy of my receipt. My cashed money order. On the cashed money order is my case number. I never heard anything. Can you please confirm, blah, 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 whatever you want to confirm. And they'll follow up with you.
Oh.
Okay?
All right.
All right?
Okay, thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go to Katie in Salisbury, Maryland. Katie. All right. So what I'd like everybody to do is this. I have to give instructions again. I thought maybe we wouldn't have to give instructions, but we have to give instructions.
We're back there, Brad.
Back to instructions.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay. 2 instructions. Very important. Number 1, listen to your phone. Do not listen to our show if you're on hold, through our Facebook or YouTube, because there's a 20, 30, 45-second delay between me talking and it coming through YouTube or Facebook. So please, if you're on hold, listen to your phone. And also get direct to the question. Those people, so far we've had direct questions, so I don't have to give instructions.
We've had pretty direct,
they've been good
Okay,
this time.
so please listen on the phone, not through Facebook or YouTube, and that's why there's the delay.
Correct.
All right, let's go to Asgar in Atlanta, Georgia. Asgar. Of course, Asgar doesn't listen to my instructions. There you are. Okay, how are you?
Hi.
All right, what's going on?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
So I filed for I-130 last November. It's been 7 months. I did my biometrics and everything, but didn't get anything.
You filed an
after that.
adjustment? You filed an adjustment?
Yes, I'm married to a U.S. citizen.
Okay. Did you file for a work permit?
I filed for all 4 I-130 and travel permit and work permit. Yes.
Okay. And since you did your biometrics, did immigration write you back a letter saying you were missing documents or anything?
No, there was no missing document. And after biometric, after like 5.5 months, I requested through my lawyer to do expedite, but they said, no,
you're not going to expedite anything.
Yeah.
If it's 7 months, I don't know. I didn't do your case. I have no idea. I'm not the immigration service, but 7 months is too long to be waiting. So I'm not sure what happened. I'm happy to look at your documents to see what's going on, but generally after 6 months, you should have got everything. I don't have an answer why you didn't get it. I don't know. Usually people who don't get it within 6 months is because they screwed up their paperwork somehow. So perhaps your paperwork got screwed up and you don't know it, and everything got returned to your lawyer, and your lawyer just took care of it without telling you. It's a possibility, all right? Because 7 months, you should have gotten it already. I don't have an answer otherwise. My guess is that's the best guess I can make, but I don't know the answer. Okay, but if you want help, I can help you. Hold on 1 second, okay? Let's go to Tarun in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Tarun.
Hey, Brad.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Brad, I have a question related to my wife's pending I-130 and my N-400. So I just want to give you a real quick immigration timeline. Actually, I got my
Tell me what your question is. I don't want to hear the timeline. Tell me your question, then I'll ask if I need to know the timeline.
Actually, I got a divorce in January 2019.
Right.
And I got I married again in April 2019.
Right.
And I filed for my wife for I-130 in May 2019.
Okay, so you got your green card through wife number one. You divorced wife number one after you got your green card, and then married wife number two.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you a resident or a citizen?
I'm a resident, and I already filed for N-400.
And how long have you had your green card when you filed for wife number two?
Less than 5 years.
Okay, so that case is going to be denied. So your initial I-130 that you filed for your second wife is going to be denied. And the reason is the law says that if you got your green card through marriage number one, you are barred from filing for spouse number two, even if you get a valid divorce, for 5 years from the time you get your green card unless you're a citizen.
Okay. But
so that first application you did is going to be worthless. Keep the marriage, it's fine, obviously. And either on the 5-year anniversary of you having a green card or on you becoming a citizen, you're going to file a new I-130 for your spouse. I would withdraw the first application.
Okay, so you mean I need to withdraw. So correct. What if I upgrade my application once I become the citizen?
It's still going to be denied because it was filed as a resident within the first 5 years. You're going to have to file it again.
Oh, got you.
Right.
So I have to. So the only option is.
This is your option. Withdraw the application, and then you're going to refile a new I-130 either upon the 5-year anniversary of you having a green card or upon you becoming a citizen, whichever happens first. If it's on the 5-year anniversary of you having a green card and you're not a citizen yet, you're still going to file for it, and then when you become a citizen, then you'll upgrade that second application.
Okay, but the current one, sure must be denied, right?
Correct. 100% will be denied.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
You're very welcome.
Thanks a lot, Brad.
Okay. Let's go to Marie in Brooklyn. Marie.
Good afternoon, Brad. How are you?
Good.
I have maybe two questions to ask you, right? My husband and I, we got married in 2015, and after I got my 2-year card, he applied for my daughter, but my daughter is not his daughter, and when we got married, my daughter was 26 years old.
Okay, so he can't file, so that's a stepfather. Now, a stepfather relationship only exists when the marriage happens before your daughter would be 18, so he wouldn't be able to file for you, for your daughter.
But we get a response from them to say that we have a case, a receipt number, and say that it's in process.
Because nobody's looked at your application. And when they look at your application, they're going to see that the marriage occurred after your daughter turned 18. It's going to be denied. So do you have a green card?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what you should do right now is file for your daughter.
Okay, so that one going to be denied.
The one filed by your husband's going to be denied. You file for your daughter now. The quicker you file, the quicker she'll get here.
Okay.
All right?
So do I have to use your service or I have to do it myself?
You have to use my service. You're asking me whether you should hire me or not. Of course, I'm going to say yes. It's up to you what you want, okay?
Okay.
All right. Hold on one second. Let's go to Brittany in Dallas, Texas. Brittany.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, good. I'm just going to try to explain it like the best way I can.
Okay.
Okay, so my husband and I, we got married in November of 2018.
You're the
but
US
before
citizen,
that,
because I hear that
he had overstayed a tourism visa.
I hear the Texas drawl, so you're the U.S. citizen, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm the U.S. citizen.
And where's your husband from?
So,
Where's he from?
He's from Nigeria.
Nigeria, okay.
Okay, so he had a visa that was 2 years. It was 2 years long, but he overstayed something called an entry of 180 days. Mm-hmm. He overstayed whatever that was. I'm not familiar with all that.
He was out of status for more than 180 days. That's what happened.
Right. Okay, so we got married in November 2018. He got arrested in January of 2019.
Why was he arrested? Why?
He was arrested in Texas.
Why?
For a DUI.
Okay. Is he in detention now?
Yes, he's been in detention since January.
Okay.
We can't get him a bond.
Why?
And when he went into removal,
Why can't you get him a bond?
We don't know. It was a first offense, and they refused. He's been through a bond hearing. They refused to give it to him. We don't know why. I mean, we have no idea why they won't give him a bond.
All right, so you need a lawyer now to sue the government because they have to give him a bond. He's married to a U.S. citizen. He has a DUI, which is not an inadmissible offense. He's entitled to file an I-130, which you should be doing, which entitles him to get a green card. And they can't they can't hold people for indefinite illegal detention. Okay, the reason why you detain somebody is to make sure they show up to a hearing. By holding him, they're punishing him. Of course, he's going to show up to a hearing. He's going to get a green card through marriage to a U.S. citizen, and he's admissible. It's not like he has an offense that's inadmissible. DUI, you can get a green card, not a DWI, but a DUI. All right, I would be going into federal court and demanding his release, and I guarantee you, if you did, he would be released in like that.
Okay. Now we did file an I-130, and he had a bond hearing on June 2nd, and they expedited the request.
Okay, you just told me the story. He's a DUI. He's in jail indefinitely. They're not giving him bond. You can tell me everything you want. You take into federal court. It's called habeas corpus petition. They're illegally holding a prisoner. They shouldn't be. He's not a threat to not show up to a hearing because he's married to a U.S. citizen. He's admissible to the United States. You can tell me till the cows come home everything that's going on, and he's going to sit in jail until you listen to what I tell you to do, which is take him to federal court. And if you want me to, I will.
Okay, I got you.
Got it? Hold on.
I got you.
Hold on. Sometimes I tell people, and then they don't listen, and they want to tell me more. Tell you what to do. Hold on. That's what you should do. Habeas corpus.
Hold on.
Hold on, habeas corpus.
Make an appointment.
Joseph in Chicago. Joseph in Chicago.
Yeah, hello.
How are you, Joseph?
I'm good, and you, Brett?
I'm fantastic. I get carried.
Yeah, I might have like 3 to 4 questions for you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but first of all, I have an interview like next month, and my wife, she hasn't been working for a long time, but we have a joint sponsor who was already approved. But I was wondering if she has to be working before we show up to the interview.
No,
or
if you have a joint sponsor who makes a good income, your wife does not have to be working.
Oh, okay, that's good. Thank you.
That's
and
good.
the second one, on the list of the things that we have to bring with us, it says that we have to bring the I-64 for the sponsor.
The I what?
But the I-8064.
Oh, the I-864, the second affidavit of support. Yes.
Yes. And then just at the bottom, it says that it says that unless already submitted. So I just wonder, because I submitted the application for the joint sponsor in May, do I have to bring a new one, or?
Yes, bring updated financials.
Oh, okay.
All right.
And what can be an evidence to prove that she's a U.S. citizen? I mean, my wife.
She has a
because
US
she doesn't have a
passport?
passport.
She has a birth certificate?
Yes, she does.
Does she have proof? Does she have a driver's license?
She doesn't have a driver's license.
She has no photo identification?
She does.
What's her photo identification?
Just the state ID,
Oh, if she has a state ID and she has a birth certificate, that would be proof she's a citizen.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
Later. Just thank you so much. Later. I like that. Pretty cool guy. All right, let's go to Ann in Brooklyn. Ann. Ann. Ann, you're not listening to the phone. Listen to the phone. How are you?
Hi, Brad.
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. Brad, I have a question.
Yes.
I have a friend that she recently filed her I-130 in January. She did her biometrics in February. However, last Friday she got a notice in the mail saying that she got denied because they had sent her for additional information and she did not send it. Right. But the problem is she did not receive such letter in the mail. So what can she do?
Better refile again and do it right Maybe with a lawyer this time, because
She did it with a lawyer. She did.
Well, then the lawyer screwed up.
Oh my.
All right, because she's on her way to deportation unless she refiles it properly.
Okay, so she has to refile the entire thing?
Correct.
Okay, can she come in to see you?
Yes, hold on.
Another question, Brad. Does her denial affect her daughter that's in Jamaica?
No.
It doesn't?
No, if that application's processing properly, that's fine.
Okay, because the lawyer that she hired did that one as well.
Yeah. All right, hold on one second.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Kevin in Seattle. Kevin.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm getting briefly. So I have a friend.
Yes.
Who on Saturday morning have a DV, domestic violence.
Mm-hmm. This past
He
Saturday.
was in jail. Yeah, Saturday gone. Last week Saturday.
Okay.
He was in jail between Saturday and Wednesday. He got bail. They gave him a $75,000 bond, but he couldn't afford it. Yeah, $75,000.
Wow, that must have been a serious offense.
And it came down, the lawyer, they get it down to $6,000.
Good.
Where he's wearing an ankle bracelet.
Okay.
My question is, what are the consequences, the legal ramification against just a 10-year green card?
If you are convicted of a crime of domestic violence within the first 5 years of you residing in the United States, it's automatic deportation.
Oh.
If you are convicted of a crime of domestic violence after 5 years of you living in the United States, and it's 5 years from your entry, so maybe it's 5 years from when he came as a visitor, and then he adjusted 3 years later, you would go back to when he became a visitor. If it's more than 5 years, perhaps, depending on what the offense is, could be an aggravated felony, then he's screwed. But perhaps he may have relief. Either way, it's deportable.
Oh.
Just whether it's automatic or not, we don't know yet.
Oh, I see.
All right. He needs a good criminal defense lawyer.
What about you? Can we retain? You have any at your company?
I can be retained for immigration, but if this is out in Seattle, Washington, I'm not a criminal defense attorney in Seattle, Washington.
I thought sometime ago you had some like Paul Hirsch.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, but he's not. He's a New York lawyer. For criminal defense and immigration is two different things. So hold on one second, okay? Hold on one second.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, that's a name from the past.
Yeah, he knew.
Yes, he listened to the radio show.
He listened to everything.
Yeah. All right, go to Katie in Salisbury, Maryland. Katie.
Yes, hello.
How are you, Katie?
I'm good. I have two questions. One is an immigration question.
Mm-hmm.
I have I visa.
An I visa?
An I visa.
Yeah, so you're a newspaper reporter or news something or other?
Yes.
Right?
An I visa, and I have my Social Security card.
Where are you from?
From Pakistan.
Okay.
Pakistan.
Okay.
I have my Social Security card, and I have temporary driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 4 years into my 5-year visa. Now, in 10 months, my visa will expire.
Right.
And I was wondering why I was here. I was Muslim, but I turned Christian, and now I can't go back to Pakistan. Otherwise, my family will be in danger, and I could be
well, this is all right. So
murdered?
let me say this. Okay, what you're asking is to file. You want to file for asylum. Now, when you come to what the law says, when you file for asylum, you have to file within 1 year of your entry, unless something happened that you weren't fearful of returning to your home country when you first came.
No.
But now circumstances changed, and the circumstances is you turned Christian, and you could be persecuted if you go back to Pakistan as a result. Now, there are people who come from Muslim countries who actually convert to Christianity, and the question always, that sits on your case is, did you do it just to get a green card, or did you do it because you really feel the values and the theology and the teachings of that particular religion? And it all goes to your credibility, and you don't have to argue, tell me yes, no. I'm just telling you that's All these cases revolve around what was your true intentions in your head. Are you doing it because you really feel, the theology of this particular religion and the teachings of it, or you do it just to get a green card? So, yes, you have a claim. You have to file within 1 year of someone in Pakistan finding out that you're a Christian. Because if no one knows you're a Christian, then there's no asylum. Nobody knows the difference. You just go home and come back. Who would know the difference? So you would have to announce it to the world, and then your family would have to be in fear, and you would have to go for an interview and prove credibly that you did this for the real reasons. All right, but hold on 1 second, okay?
Okay.
All right. Where is all my stuff here? I got stuff.
You got stuff.
I got stuff. I don't know where everything got kabloxed. Kabloxed.
Kabloxed.
I just made up a word.
Yeah, that's not a word.
Yeah, all right. So it's been reported that the conditions in American migrant detention centers, like we talked about, are going from really bad to horrific. We talked about it at the top of our show. Stories of overcrowding, filth and sickness in freezing holding cells with little to no medical care, food, clothing, not even toothbrushes in many instances. Now, these conditions are terrible for even the healthiest of people, but this is conditions that children are living in, who are even more fragile, especially children who just walked or traveled from their home country. And make it even matters worse is these are children who are separated from their mothers and fathers. It's no wonder 6 children have died under USCIS custody since September of last year. Anna Ascona, our Miami field correspondent, has something to say about this, and that just doesn't make any sense.
Hey friends from the Brass Show Live, I'm Anna Ascona. We just recently reported another death at an ICE detention center in Arizona, and now we have another incident. Another migrant child died in ICE custody due to the flu. That is insane. How many more children have to die for these people to actually pay attention to this situation? 16-year-old Carlos Gregorio Hernandez Vasquez had been held for 6 days, which is twice as long as federal law permits. He was then transferred to another facility even after being diagnosed with the flu. What was going through their mind? Instead of sending him to another facility, why didn't they go seek medical help? That's what I don't understand about all of this chaos. How is it possible that authorities just seem to ignore the fact that these children are sick and they put them in these detention centers with other children where germs are being spread and more children continue to get sick? Clearly, they're living in overcrowded places and it's easy to spread germs. And it's not very healthy for these kids to live under these conditions. Advocates demand that President Trump administration safeguard the lives of these children due to the amount of children living in these facilities with lack of proper medical help. Like I mentioned, sending Carlos to another facility instead of to the hospital is just exposing another child to get sick, which can possibly lead to another death. Carlos is the 5th Guatemalan child to die in ICE custody. And let me tell you guys, these children are escaping death back home. They're seeking asylum. They're escaping dangerous conditions back home. They don't want to die in the U.S. due to an illness. They're coming here for a better life, not to look for their own death. And right after Carlos' death was reported, a month later, Darlene Valle from El Salvador, this 10-year-old girl, also died. Her death wasn't made public, but she is the 6th child to die in ICE custody. And this makes it 6 children because in May, a 2.5-year-old also died after being sick in an ICE detention. Let's remember these children for a second. 7-year-old Jacqueline Kale McQueen, 8-year-old Felipe Gomez Alonso, 16-year-old Juan de Leon Gutierrez, the 2.5-year-old Guatemalan boy who has not been identified, 16-year-old Carlos Gregorio Hernandez Vasquez, and 10-year-old Darlene Valle. This is just heartbreaking and not acceptable. If our government continues to get away with this, what will the future be like for these children and for these migrants who are coming here seeking asylum for a better life? First of all, what does this say about our country if we continue to allow this to happen? That we don't care about humanity. That's what it shows. If a sick person is in a detention center, they should get medical help ASAP, and no one should be left behind, especially in situations where their life is at risk. Also, many migrants are indigenous, so I think we need more indigenous speaking people in these detention centers to help these migrants communicate when something is wrong. This just doesn't make any sense. Let's please try to create more awareness to put a stop to this.
All right, I agree completely. And by the way, before we're about to get into our social media check-in, we're going to answer the first 5 questions from the Brad Squad group, and then we're going to get into our social media. But quickly beforehand, we do have Instagram. You can follow at Brad Show Live, and you can see the best 2-3 minutes of our show every day on at Brad Show Live on Instagram. So in case you just missed the whole 2-hour show and you just like, I need 2 or 3 minutes of Brad and Kim and Yo-Yo, follow us on at Brad Show Live on Instagram. You can also follow my trials and tribulations around the world on at Real Brad Bernstein. And if you are part of the Brad Squad, I promise I'll follow you back. And then we could sit there and DM each other all day long, right?
That's right.
You DM all day long?
All day long with the Brad Squad.
I will say, we literally have a question today that is straight from Brad's DMs, and the response in the DM is like, am I talking to the real Brad?
Yes, I'm
Brad
sure.
texted it to me. It was the real Brad.
Real Brad. All right. And
Celebrity
Belgium,
right
Belgium
here.
Kim and Yonathan Yo-Yo Elias.
Yeah.
Do you have an Instagram?
We sure do, Brad.
Okay.
Not collectively. I am
Sorry.
at Belgium Kim TV on both Instagram and Facebook, and very recently Twitter.
And I am Yonathan Elias TV on Instagram and Twitter, and I comment from my fan page on Facebook. So you guys can just click on that name, Yonathan Elias, and follow your guy.
All right, let's do something we like to call social media check-in.
All right, our first one comes from, like I said, the first 5 questions that we're asking today come straight from the Brad Squad page. So if you guys have not liked and followed that page, the link that we're going to put right now in the comment section, then you don't get this incentive. I'm sorry, all right? So now our first one comes from Mimi saying, hey squad, I joined the Facebook squad and I have a question. So I have an I-485 interview coming up in July. I was wondering if we had to go to the interview together. How does the officer ask questions? Are they directed to each one, or do they throw out questions for any of us to answer? And also, thank you for the great work.
Yes, you both have to go. You got to prove it's a bona fide marriage. They're going to ask you questions that only a husband and wife living together would know the answers to, like what side of the bed do you sleep on? What type of toothpaste do you use? And they're going to direct it to one or both of you. And they're going to see how you interact with each other. They're going to assess the bona fides of your marriage based on how your financial documentation looks. Are you sharing in the debts of the marriage as well as in the assets of the marriage? They're going to look at your pictures and bills and ask you questions about your living arrangements to determine whether you live together. You don't show up, your spouse is not getting a green card, that's for sure.
And I would like to add to that, I definitely think that they should look at some of the bratified marriage pieces that we do. It's
That's right.
literally for that, to show that.
And if she needs to ask that question, she needs a lawyer.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We had somebody comment that just today that's like, if you're asking any question at all, don't do this without an attorney.
Exactly.
Real talk. Melissa would like to know, what are they up to in the F2B categories for unmarried children of citizens who are over 21?
Unmarried children of residents, it's not citizens. And what you have to do, which I am going to do right now, is you Google Visa Bulletin.
To the Visa Bulletin!
To the Visa Bulletin, correct. And go to July 2019 Visa Bulletin, and F2A is current for July. Meaning, believe it or not, that it's the same as if married to a U.S. citizen.
F2B.
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 I can't believe F2A is current. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I just saw it now for the first time. F2B is September 1st, 2013.
2013.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Our third one from our Brad Squatter. Brad Squatter?
Brad Squatter? That doesn't sound right. From someone from the Brad Squad.
A Brad Squad member.
Or Brad Squad member or someone from the Brad Squad.
Yeah.
Brad Squatter. All right, someone from the Brad Squad, Jennifer Fernandez Obana. Saying hello to all the Brad squad. Hope you are doing great. Hello, Brad. My question is, and it's 2 parts. Since the original petitioner, mother as a U.S. citizen, was approved, however, she died when the approval received, we can file the humanitarian waiver for my 2 brothers. One is single, the other one is married.
This is Bernadette from Lenore, North Carolina.
Oh, this is
I already
Jennifer.
answered her question.
Yeah,
Next, Kim, let's go.
Jennifer from Lenore.
Yes,
oh,
right.
She's trying to get it on all ends.
They ask it every day, the same thing. Let's go.
They're trying to get it from all ends.
All right, I gave him the answer.
Suzanne in our Facebook group said, can my husband file for me if I had a domestic violence charge against him? The charges were dismissed.
Yes. As long as you can always file for you as long as there's no order of protection. That's the thing.
Fearless Michelle saying, hey Brad, if my husband becomes a citizen since filing the I-130 petition not yet approved, what's next? What are the forms to be completed, and will there be a waiver required for unlawful presence?
Well, Fearless, if you're here legally, file an adjustment. You don't need a waiver. If you're here out of status, you're not eligible to adjust, you entered EWI, then you would have to upgrade the I-130 and then, yes, do a provisional waiver before you go home and come back.
I've got one directly from Brad's DMs, so you know it works, family. All 3 of them said, hey Brad, I've got an adult daughter who's an American citizen for about 27 years now. She got her citizenship when her father filed for her. Now she wants to file for me, but I've got a 15-year-old daughter living with me in Jamaica, and I understand that she can't be on the same filing as a sibling, and therefore I've got to get my green card first and then turn around and file for her. I just want to make sure that that's the right thing. I'm not supposed to. What are my options?
That's the option. She got it right. So her question was her answer.
Right.
This was like Jeopardy.
What is?
And my question, because she gave the answer,
Right.
I'm like, what is file for you? And when you come here, you file for your daughter. And by the way, the F2A category is current right now.
Right.
So which means is after you come here, you can get your daughter here in a year.
Is there any way that daughter can, because she doesn't want to be separated from her 15-year-old daughter for a year, and she doesn't really have anyone to take care of her in Jamaica. Is there anyone that
there's no visa for the daughter to come, but what she can do is she can get a green card, get a re-entry permit, go home and live with the daughter, and then both come together.
There it is.
All right. Shope on Instagram saying, good afternoon. My grandfather applied in 2012 for his children. I'm a derivative beneficiary of that petition because my dad and mom were married then. We received approval letter in 2014. My dad and mom now go through a divorce, unfortunately, and causes the application to move to a F1 category.
Well, unfortunately for your parents, they're divorced, which is unhappy for the children, but that makes the case go faster.
Okay, but this is the thing. Now I'm 23, so can I keep my priority date in the F2B category and live with my dad now?
No,
that
you
F1
don't.
category is showing current.
You don't get the priority date anymore. He was a derivative on that case. Period. Dad has his green card now. Dad has to turn around and file a new I-130. You get a new priority date.
Sumit on Instagram said, could you explain the process for an EAD expedition based on financial hardship?
Expedite? There is no process. It's not going to happen.
Ugh.
Yikes. Okay, Enrique Hernandez saying, hey, Mr. Brad, I had an immigration question regarding my current immigration case. I have 2 illegal entries into the U.S. prior to 1996. Does that activate the 10-year bar in my case? I've been told it's only after 1997 that counts. Thank you for your time.
It depends what happened. So prior to 96, the laws were different than after 96. What the law said is if you were removed, you came to the border, they caught you, they sent you home, you had to stay out of the country for 1 year before you were allowed to come back. If you stayed out of the country for more than a year, then came back, got removed a second time, went home, then tried to come a third time and finally made it all at least a year after the fact, then you're okay. If you tried to re-enter within a year prior to 96, then that's automatic removal for you. After 96, you need permission to re-enter, and if you found in the U.S. within 5 years, that's a criminal offense.
Charmaine on Facebook said, if a child is filing for a parent, about how long should that take?
A child over 21 filing for a parent in America should take about 12 to 24 months. Outside of the U.S., about 15 months.
All right, Chris J saying, can I expedite my EAD through full-time?
There's no expedite of the EAD, period. They're not going to do it.
No
All right.
EAD expedition.
Sheesh.
Nami Sanvu said, my husband filed for naturalization and his interview date was later canceled. He's filing citizenship based on 5 years, so should we get worried that it was canceled?
Maybe. I don't know why it was canceled. It's canceled either because they didn't have somebody to interview you, or it's canceled because they're looking into your husband for some nefarious reason. I have no idea. So yes, you could look at it both ways. You get your citizenship interview canceled, and you could run a movie in your head. Oh my God, are they investigating me? Or you could be like, oh, they just didn't have time to interview me. Could go either way.
All right, Don Harriet saying, Dad, who's a U.S. citizen, filed for his married daughter in 2008. The daughter is now divorced. How does she?
You write the National Visa Center, show the divorce, and then it'll upgrade to an F1, and you'll be automatically eligible for your green card.
Woo, woo. Isha Sese said, my friend's U.S. spouse filed a petition for her. She went ahead and did her biometric, and now the spouse is throwing her out. What should she do at this point in time?
Get a divorce. These are your options in all those situations.
Yeah.
Get a divorce or marry someone who's going to really love you and not throw you out. File an abuse case if there was, in fact, abuse. Or, go to the florist and bring flowers and make up. Those are your three options.
All right.
Brad's
So
marriage
specific.
counseling is always on point.
Flowers.
I'm always a big fan.
Flowers always work.
Flowers
Yes.
and chocolates.
Sandra saying, my husband and I got a work permit from Maryland because we filed from there, and now we're in New Jersey. Can we both use that to work here, or do we have to do it in state?
No, you can use a work permit to work anywhere you want, but if you've moved, please let immigration know to transfer your file to New Jersey.
Halimo Abdi said, I received disability benefits and SSI income only. I married my husband 8 months ago, and I'd like to bring him to the United States of America. Is that possible? And if so, what do I do? Is the fact that I got those disability benefits going to
Disability is not need-based, so it won't affect your green card application. You may not earn enough money for the affidavit of support. You may need a second affidavit of support, but it's not need-based government assistance that it would cause a problem.
Natasha saying, I missed the show last week. Hey, Brad,
Oh.
What's new on VAWA?
Nothing. We'll know more towards September. That's what it's going to be, right down to the wire.
Whew,
Yeah.
That's stressing me out.
Yes.
Anna K. Maxim said, can a person travel from state to state while being out of status if they have a valid passport?
Yes.
Rosalina Charles saying, hey, Brad, my brother married his citizen wife back home a year ago, and the wife applied for him. But he came to America a few months ago. The wife abandoned him at the airport. She did give him his green card. They both live in different addresses.
So she sponsored him, and he shows up to the airport, to the shores of America, and the wife shows up to the airport and says, ciao?
Doesn't even show up.
He had to Uber home himself.
What home, though?
There was no home.
Right.
There was no home. Okay.
So, yeah.
So he's going to have a problem either removing the conditions if he had a 2-year card, or he may even have a problem becoming a citizen because he's going to have no evidence that he and his wife ever lived together.
Right. Because
so he's got a huge problem. I don't have the answer.
Right. It says that she did give him the green card, but they both live in different addresses now.
It's going to be a problem going back to immigration to remove the conditions or becoming a citizen, because they're going to in either instance they're going to want to see, did you ever live together? And the fact that you have no evidence, they're going to believe the burden is going to shift to you, that they're going to think it was a business marriage.
Angela is wondering approximately how long citizenship takes to process.
6-9 months right now. Pretty fast, at least in New York.
All right, Marianne Bradley saying, really hope you can address the possible mass deportations. Relatives and friends are freaked out now. And we did speak about this, but just quickly.
There are no mass deportations. It is the same thing that's been going on year after year. If you have an order of deportation, you got to worry. Yes, there will be on the edges people who may get caught up in immigration that otherwise wouldn't have because of the extra attention being brought to immigration by Donald Trump. But the millions and millions of people, it ain't happening.
Scott wants to know, who are the most famous recent immigrants to America?
Who are the most famous recent immigrants?
Famous recent immigrants.
I have no idea. Who are the most famous recent immigrants to America?
We've in our immigrant celebs piece,
Yes.
we've talked at there's Charlize Theron and Mila Kunis, although they're not particularly recent. Natalie Portman, all really surprising. Just found out Bruce Willis was born on an Air Force base.
I didn't know that. All right. What about immigration questions, Yonathan?
Okay.
I could answer that.
Listen, it was in there. I had to ask.
Right. Google is your friend.
Yeah.
Yannick saying, hey, family, squad up. Is it true that NBC is processing, is NVC, right?
Mm-hmm.
They put NBC. Is processing 2 months at a time for the I-765C9 marriage-based. I've read on a forum where persons from November and December are getting their EADs.
It's possible. Yeah, it's about a 6-month process right now.
Dax B says the case status says the card is being produced. Does that mean I've been approved for the I-485?
I would believe that's what it means.
Okay, Adedokun Adenike saying, for how long does a U visa take to get your work permit? This is the second time I'm asking the question, and I keep on missing it.
You're not entitled to a work permit from a U visa until it's approved, and U visas are taking 3, 4, 5 years to get approved. So people who file U visas are waiting years and years and years. Now, what the law says on a U visa, if you can show humanitarian reasons why you need a work permit, you're allowed to file for a work permit based on humanitarian reasons within 180 days of them meeting USCIS, receiving your U visa. So every person who has a U visa should be filing. Give it a try. You never know. Come up with your best reasons for humanitarian reasons why you need a work permit.
Copper Clan, for our last question of the moment, said, I reapplied for my work permit after the expiration, and they sent me a letter for a 180-day extension while my adjustment of status is still pending. But in 6 months, it's going to be 2 years that it's pending. Is there any way to expedite it without a mandamus?
Not really. Mandamus, or that's it.
But why would you not want to mandamus, is the question.
The only time you don't want a mandamus is when you don't have an approvable case. But if you've got a squeaky clean, you know what you mean by squeaky clean case,
right.
Like there's no reason in the world for them to deny you, you mandamus all day long.
Mandamus?
Mandamus.
Whoop. We need to create like a Gregory Brothers type song with like mandamus,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so meanwhile we have an immigrant of the day here.
Yeah.
And it's nobody that you mentioned.
Nobody that I mentioned.
No, the immigrant of the day is Maria del Rosario Mercedes Pilar Martinez Molina Baez.
What?
Yes, Maria del Rosario Mercedes Pilar Martinez Molina Baez.
How long it take
Also
you to
known
do
as
that?
Charo from the Love Boat.
Oh, Charo!
Yes, Charo from the Love Boat. The American actress, comedian, and flamenco guitarist is known for her uninhibited and exuberant manner, vague age, ostensible lack of English, heavy Spanish accent, and the catchphrase, coochie coochie.
Oh, that's a great
Was
coochie
that a good coochie coochie?
That
She's
was.
crushed generations with her appearances in Laugh-In, Fantasy Island, Love Boat, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, VH's One, The Surreal Life, and Dancing with the Stars most recently.
Mm-hmm.
Now, born in Spain, her father was reportedly a lawyer who fled to Casablanca during the dictatorship of Francisco Franco, while her homemaker mother stayed behind raising the children. In 1966, Charo married 66-year-old band leader Xavier Cugat. The couple was the first to have their nuptials in Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas.
Ooh.
Wow.
Who knew that? She later claimed that her marriage to Cugat had been merely a business contract, a way for him to legally bring her over to the United States, where he was based. So Charo admitted to a fraudulent marriage. Now, interestingly, the law for marriage fraud went into effect in 1986. So if you admit to marriage fraud prior to 1986, not only was it not a misrepresentation, it wasn't even illegal back then.
So she could do it?
So she could admit to it and never committed a crime. It's only if the marriage fraud was after 1986 that it becomes a crime.
That must not apply to a whole lot of people
That
right
is
now.
right. Wow, who knew that one, right?
I wonder if she knew that before she
I don't know. I doubt it, but luckily for her.
Because let me tell you, when you do these interviews, because I do a lot of interviews, sometimes you just
People say the dumbest things.
you don't think about the thousands or millions of people that are actually going to be reading or listening to it. So.
People, what about people who call all the time? I'm like, did you just tell the entire world that you committed a crime? 100%. Right? Now, how many times on this show do I say, stop talking right now?
So
right?
many times.
So meanwhile, Charo's year of birth has been the subject of dispute for many years. Official documentation of her birthplace, including her original Spanish passport, has it pegged at March 13th, 1941. However, when she immigrated to the United States, she claimed it was 1947, then changed it to 1949.
Yes, I love it.
In her final change on her passport, her U.S. passport, it says she was born in 1977, which makes her 10 years younger than me. And I don't know how that is, because I remember when I was 6 years old, watching her as an adult on the Love Boat. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our immigrants of the day, committing misrepresentation all over the place. Coochie, coochie, coo, Charo. And with that, we were discussing, by the way, how Donald Trump, and even Lisa Bling Rose, I saw in the comment section, was like, Brad, help us, he's scaring the hell out of everybody. Right. And then she had the swim emoji where she's telling, Lisa Bling was telling everybody, you should be swimming home.
Swim away.
Okay, right. And like over the weekend, Trump scared the hell out of God knows how many people. How many people actually just got scared and left the country? We have no idea. Okay, and I said on Friday, don't be scared of the rhetoric. Okay, but people were petrified.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're like, oh my God, Trump's coming to knock on my door, and if it's not Trump, it's going to be that guy Pence.
Right.
Somebody's coming.
One of them.
Or Bolton with his mustache. Or Lurch.
Oh, God.
Lurch. Stephen Miller. This is really important to watch, because I recently spoke to a gentleman, a U.S. citizen by the name of Jason Rochester, and his wife, Cecilia. Now, Jason and Cecilia have been married for 15 years and have a young son together. Cecilia was an undocumented Mexican national. She lived here in the United States for over 20 years. She was married to Jason. They had this child together. Jason, who was born in Alabama, he voted for Donald Trump, believing that Donald Trump would only go after bad immigrants, not his wife, who was a good immigrant. His wife was a stay-at-home mother. She had no criminal record. He says, yeah, we'll get the bad people out, but we're going to keep the good people like my wife, my beautiful wife. But once Trump got into office, Cecilia panicked, like everybody panicked this weekend. And she packed up and went back to Mexico in fear of getting deported. Now she can't come back to the United States.
Sheesh.
She and her husband are still in a valid marriage. Their son is going through cancer treatment and had to not have a mother be with him. Oh my God. And now he's in remission, thank God. But here's a story about people who got terrified by Donald Trump and did everything wrong. Let's watch. Jason Rochester and Cecilia Gonzalez have been married for 12 years and have a 6-year-old son together. For the last year and a half, they've been raising their child from opposite sides of the United States-Mexico border after Cecilia self-deported herself to Mexico. Although they have been forced apart by Donald Trump's stringent immigration policies, Jason voted for Trump in 2016, not thinking his undocumented wife with no criminal record would ever be considered a bad hombre. With me now to discuss their current situation, Jason is in the United States, Cecilia is in Mexico, are Jason and Cecilia. Welcome, and thanks for coming on. Cecilia, you're from Mexico. When did you first try to come to America?
1997, in a bus.
Was the bus inspected? We know immigration caught you trying to enter the first time. How did they catch you?
Well, they just stopped the bus and they asked everybody for their documents.
How old were you at the time?
19.
You took a voluntary departure?
Yeah.
97.
Okay, got it. I understand. Voluntary departure is not an order of removal or deportation, so that's fine. Now, 3 years later, you're 22 years old. You try to re-enter the United States again. How did you try to come in 2000?
In a bus again.
At that point, you had a expedited removal. And then you got sent back to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
When did you come back again?
A week later.
So you figured out a smarter way to cross the border without being on a bus, and you entered the country without inspection. Yeah. Did you know at the time that you had to stay out of the country for 5 years?
Yeah, I knew.
You knew, but you did it anyway because you had to get out of Mexico.
Yeah.
Why did you need to get out of Mexico?
To have a better life, work.
Where did you go to live?
My sisters.
Where's that?
California.
How'd you support yourself?
Sisters, they don't charge me a lot for rent.
Right.
So I just give them whatever they ask me.
Jason, how did you guys meet?
We had a mutual friend that introduced us.
And did you know about her immigration status at that moment?
No, not at that time. I thought she was beautiful. It took a while for her to go out with me because she was scared about that.
Right.
But eventually, yeah, we started dating.
And you're a United States citizen?
Born and raised in Alabama.
How long from the time you dated to the time you found out about her immigration status?
She didn't even tell me. It was actually one of our mutual friends that told me about it.
And you got married. And did you ever look into trying to resolve her immigration issues?
Not for a long time, because she felt like I might feel like she was married me for that reason only. And we didn't start until like 2012 or 13.
You went to an immigration lawyer, and what did the immigration lawyer say to you?
We liked him. We had people that we actually knew that had used him, and they thought he was good. And we did a I-130. We got it approved. We had mentioned later that we would like for her to be able to get a driver's license. He said, well, if you get a work permit, then you can get a driver's license. So we did the work permit, but unfortunately in Georgia, you can't use a work permit to get a driver's license.
Under what basis did she get a work permit?
We have no idea. He just filed the papers and we did it.
So maybe he filed some bogus adjustment application or something that you were otherwise not qualified to adjust. And that's why your 601 waiver was denied, because you were otherwise not qualified to adjust to begin with. And so what happened after that?
We had to go to an ICE appointment every year to renew her permit. First year was 2015. Yeah, it was. They said, okay, come back next year. Trump took office.
Did she get a work permit from deferred enforced departure?
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
That's when you have an order of deportation, but the government says that it's not in the best interest of the United States to deport you, so we're not going to enforce the deportation, despite the fact that you've been ordered deported. Did your lawyer tell you to go home?
No, he wouldn't even talk to us.
Did you go for a second opinion?
Well, the lady that we finally ended up using, that she's still our lawyer now, she did a FOIA, but it took so long to do it. To get the results, that it ended up being Cecilia was already gone by then, because we didn't know that she had what's called a permanent tenure bar.
Right. A FOIA is to get a Freedom of Information Act request to get a copy of your immigration records. What was going on in Atlanta? What happened that you just decided to pack up and leave?
Too much stress, so I decided to leave because we want to have a peace on our lives.
Jason, you voted for Donald Trump, right?
Yes, unfortunately.
Why did you vote for Donald Trump if you knew his first words out of his mouth were everyone from Mexico is a rapist or a murderer?
I hinged everything on the bad hombres.
Right.
Because to me and anyone that I ever speak with, if you say a bad hombre, you don't talk about a housewife that's
sure, of course,
never done anything. So I took him at his word. As I've said to many people now, it must have been a lie, because that's not what he intended.
Of course. Without the benefit of actually seeing all of your records and trying to piece together based on my knowledge of immigration and based on what you know what happened on your case, when you were in the United States, you were ineligible to get a green card because of the way you entered after a prior deportation. There was nothing that anyone could have done for you to have gotten a green card. There's only two things people in Cecilia's position can do if they do not have a criminal record, which you don't, and they re-entered the United States after a prior order of summary removal, which is deportation at the border. And those two things are file a U visa if you were the victim of a crime. Perhaps she was a victim of a crime, but she never reported it. And the other thing is to file an affirmative CAT claim. An affirmative CAT claim is a convention against torture. It's not asylum, but it's convention against torture, that my life may be in danger if I return to Mexico, and the Mexican government can't do anything to prevent that. And had you been my client, I would have advised you to lay low, do not separate from your spouse and child, and know that if immigration were to come knock on your door at any particular moment, your one salvation would be a convention against torture claim, but you certainly litigate it out, and you can, keep it in the courts for years fighting it out. Because now that you have left, you have a 10-year bar. There's no waiver for the first 10 years. Now, your resolution is you need a lot of publicity. And your son, I understand, is now diagnosed with cancer, which is terrible.
Oh, he's better.
He's in remission, thank God. The only way you come back to America, You need a celebrity to take up your cause. Somebody to write a private bill in Congress with a lot of publicity, because Congress can make any law they want. Congress can make a private law for you. Cecilia Gonzalez should get a green card, and that could be a law. And that's the only way you come back in less than 10 years. How long have you been out of the United States?
A year and a half.
Jason, have you gone to Mexico to try to live with her? Has that been an option for you?
No, because with work, I have my insurance is provided through UPS.
Right, and you need it for your son's cancer treatment.
Because my son,
Right.
yeah,
and he wouldn't have that. He needs it. I understand.
Yeah. And he needs to be monitored for
Of
the
course.
next 5 to 7 years even.
Have you been to Mexico to visit? Has your son been to Mexico to visit?
He's there right now, actually. He's with her for the summer.
How does he feel
And-
about the situation?
I don't think so. He understands 100%.
Not fully, no.
No. Why did you move from Guadalajara to Merida?
For safety.
Right.
It's a lot safer. I feel like she's safer in that town as opposed to where she was at in her town, because she's actually had several family members that have been killed, disappeared, neighbors that have just disappeared.
That's why, had she stayed, she could have filed a convention against torture claim and had made a credible claim. Whether she would have won or not, I don't know, but she would have made a credible claim, and she most likely would have had some sort of bail simply because someone has to take care of her son who has cancer. I wish she didn't leave. Now, what's it like being a single father, taking care of your son, knowing he has a medical condition?
Well, I'm very fortunate that my mother, 75 now, or will be soon, she's moved from Alabama to Georgia to help me. So she takes care of Ashton while I'm working, and she helps with cooking and cleaning house and stuff. But other than that, I don't know what I would have been doing. He actually lived with my mom and dad for the first few months. After Cecilia left, they took him to Alabama with them, and he was going to pre-K. Once we found out about his cancer diagnosis when he had his surgery, she moved here and has lived here up until we left recently to take him down for the summer. And when he comes back, she'll come back and help again.
What's it been like now having to go through this entire stress of separation, especially with your son who's sick?
He tried a lot to bring me back. And it's a stress to us.
Very stressful.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting closer in some respects. Like a month ago, we hadn't seen each other from Thanksgiving last year until April.
So you were separated 4 or 5 months.
Yeah, almost 6. I had 6 months.
I understand you sent a Twitter message to Donald Trump. When did you send this?
I think it was the first day when Ashton got in the hospital.
I think it was
It's in the first
after
week.
Ashton, whenever he was sick in
And he didn't have
July of last year.
and he didn't have his mother there by his side during this whole process.
No,
That's terrible.
That was so
That was awful.
difficult. I sent pictures from him being in the hospital saying, I voted for you and I thought you were going to be good to undocumented. I used a different word, but I've found out that using illegal is not appropriate.
It's not appropriate.
So
yeah, it scares people because people think that people did crimes. It's not a crime to not have a document to legally work in America.
So I said that I thought he was going to be good to people and he needs to help my family because my son has cancer and he needs his mommy. And crickets. I've not ever gotten a single response from him. I get a lot of haters.
So what do you have to say that a man who's so self-serving destroyed your family?
I believed a lie. I just couldn't believe that he would consider my wife or any other person that we know that is a good person, came here to make a good life for themselves. They love their families, and yet he put them all in one batch and said, well, you're undocumented, you're bad. And I never even once thought that that was going to be the case.
It's a very sad situation you're in, and I'm sitting here racking my brains, but the law doesn't allow her to come back. What you need is a publicist. You're the all-American family, except she was born on the wrong side of the border. And now you guys are separated for 10 years. There's no law that allows her to come back unless somebody in Congress makes a law. And the only way that it is going to become a law is you need a Republican and a Democrat to support it. Now, I understand you're part of a group, American Families United.
They are a very small organization that's been around for, I believe, 10 years or so. And that's what they fight for, is American citizens that are affected by our immigration policies because they're married to someone that is undocumented.
I'm telling you the truth. You need to be selfish now about your family. And you need to find somebody somewhere who has a following, who is known, who can bring publicity to your situation. Other than that, you would be calling me in 2025 to bring your wife back. You have to keep appearing on every show you can, in every magazine. Never, never give up. And hopefully, one day, and it's sooner rather than later, somebody's going to say, that's terrible what's happening. I want to contact them. You know, Kim Kardashian got 2 people out of jail because they said it was an injustice. So it happens. It's only an injustice if all of America knows about it. That's my advice to you. So
hopefully one of them watches your show.
I hope so. Tell me, both in your own words now, has the American dream changed for you? Of what you think America is?
I'm disappointed that people are so hateful. It's almost as similar to the civil rights movement.
Cecilia, tell me what you thought the American dream was when you came from Mexico, and tell me what it means to you now.
Well, I have a really good life in America. I feel like my dream came true when I was living there. So now here in Mexico, it's not the same.
It's like she fell off the mountain. She was on top of the world, and now she's
fell off the mountain
at the bottom, trying to climb up it again.
Right.
Yep.
You're not bad people, and it's even sadder when good people are in bad situations. I wish you both the best of luck. Get America on your side. Show them the injustice that's happening. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Very sad.
That's
I don't have an answer.
Very sad.
You know, for people say, well, he deserves it. He voted for Trump.
Right.
All I can say is he was naive.
Mm-hmm.
He was unsophisticated, obviously.
Right.
And nobody deserves to be separated from their spouse, even if he voted for Trump.
Right.
For 10 years.
Yep.
For a spouse who did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And have a son who has cancer. I think he's got paid back more than his
God.
vote.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's my opinion.
Absolutely.
I feel very bad for the wife. I feel terrible for the son.
Yeah.
Turns out, which we didn't even talk about in the interview, the son had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't discover the cancer. The son went to visit mom and discovered the lump on the son, and it was while the son was just visiting mom for a few weeks that she discovered the cancer.
That goes to show
so you need a mom and a
dad.
dad.
You need both.
You need a mom and a dad.
Absolutely.
All right, Julie and the TriCaster guy. Put 5 minutes on the clock. Call Guinness Book of World Records. Belgium Kim, how many questions in 5 minutes? I'll let you decide.
How about we do 20 questions, Brad? I feel
20
confident.
questions in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
It's a new day, it's a new week.
But
we
wait. Okay. But I want to ask, let's try to destroy this record.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try to do 20 questions and have a minute left on the clock. So the last question we could just basically bullshit with each other for 1 minute.
Chill.
We'll chill, all right?
Let's do
that means you got to read through the questions fast. No follow-up questions, Yo-Yo.
Yep.
Okay? Yo-Yo's big into follow-up questions.
That's not a thing, Brad.
Okay.
You're big into follow-up.
That I was about to say.
I like to blame other people for my failure, Yo-Yo, okay?
But that's why we're here, Brad.
It's never my fault.
We're here.
All right, you ready? Let's go.
Ronnie said, I had an I-751 interview a few months back. On June 19th, it said it got transferred to another office. The next day, another update that the card was being produced.
That means you're approved.
And then it said the case was transferred to a new office that has jurisdiction.
That means the computer program's wrong, and who knows? You got to follow up.
Binta saying I have a green card interview on the 11th of July. However, I filed a VAWA case 4 days ago on the basis of abuse. How long am I expected to wait for a new interview date?
You're going to go on that interview, bring proof that you filed a VAWA, and then you're going to wait 18 more months.
No username said I upgraded my I-130 in early May after my wife became a U.S. citizen. How do we know it's actually been upgraded, and should we still expect a notice from USCIS?
You should get a notice from USCIS.
Mamadou saying, my naturalization case was denied in February. I don't receive a denial notice. I filed a FOIA in March. I want to travel. What's your advice? Wait or go here?
If you have an inadmissible criminal offense, don't travel. I don't know why you were denied, so until you know, stay tight.
Ma Duke said, I've got a friend who's got a 2-year green card through marriage and wants to know if she can file for children over 21 in Jamaica.
Yes.
Sophia said, how long does it take for a wife to file for her husband in Jamaica?
About 15 months.
Marcia is saying, I have a friend whose son is here on a 10-year green card. Can he apply for his mother who is here in the U.S. on a visitor's visa?
No, son has to be a citizen.
Pauline said, how long after you submitted your documents to adjust your status by marriage will you get a response from USCIS? And do they send some sort of acknowledgement letter that it was submitted?
Yes, a few weeks you should get a notice that they received it and then followed up with a biometric appointment.
Gabrielle saying, what if they caught you when your paperwork is in process?
Well, it depends what paperwork you have. You may get deported, you may not.
Colin said, if you're in the Bronx and want to file your marriage-based petition, which location should you send your documents to?
The Chicago lockbox.
Shamar saying, U.S. citizen parent files for I-130 for child who's 20, priority date February 2019. What's your opinion on the time approval and future immigration?
I think prior dates are current, so if you get the I-130 approved, that child will be here.
Nika says, when could you apply for TPS in 2019?
When can you apply?
Yeah.
It depends what country you're from. I need to know more.
Julian, if your mom is filing for an over 21-year-old child and has Medicaid, what will happen? Mother about to get her citizenship.
Mother needs to get off Medicaid before the child goes for a visa appointment, but that could be years down the line.
Princess Black wants to know, if you check online about your I-485 but don't see anything, it just says error over and over again, what's going to happen? What should I do?
Follow up with immigration, make sure they have your case.
Anastasia saying, if I have a court case to attend but I'm getting married for love, do I still attend the court or do I just go ahead with the marriage situation?
You can't avoid the court date because that would be automatic deportation.
Shani said, how do I get a work permit while pending the I-130 in removal proceedings, and how does my husband adjudicate my I-130 petition?
You have to file the I-130, get a bona fide marriage exemption, and then file an adjustment. You're not getting a work permit until then.
Lynn asking for a friend, is 3 months too soon to get married if it's for love and file papers? And if you file in one state, can you move to another state, continue filing from there?
Yes, you can file in one state, continue move from another state, and in 90 days, I assume, after you enter the United States, that's fine. 90 days after you meet the guy, to each his own.
Larry said, when filing for my son under 21 who lives in Africa, do I have to file the I-130 and the G325A together or just the I-130?
Just the I-130.
Babu Rao said, I had my N400 interview last week, got approved. My oath letter says bring all corresponding mail from USCIS. I don't have most of it. Would it delay my oath taking?
Just bring what you have.
And my U.S. Citizen aunt sponsored my mom 6 years ago after my naturalization. Can I transfer her case onto mine?
No.
How long will it take?
No, you have to start again.
And finally, from Jacques, can I file for my wife's kids and my wife in the same I-130?
No, you have to file separate ones if you're a U.S. citizen.
There you go. It's over a minute.
What you want, Brad? What you want?
What you want?
Can I get a confirmation in the control room that we got 20? Because that was 20 on our end, but we want to make sure.
Maybe it's 19. We still got a minute to ask. Well,
No
why don't you
problem.
just in case, like March Hicks says it's 18.
Yeah.
Okay, so Juliet, my husband will file for his citizenship next year, January. How long will it take to get the green card? My I-130 is approved. We've been married for 3 years.
You got to wait on his citizenship and then about 6 months later.
Yo Deep said that my petition was approved in December of 2015. I'm an unmarried son, 21 years old. My mom asked USCIS for options so I can visit her, and they said for her to try to apply for a tourist visa, but we've gotten denied twice.
You're not getting it. Wait on your green card.
You
it's like 21,
we
22.
can just keep going, whatever.
Yeah.
Damien, can I travel on an extension out of the country if I divorce?
Yes.
I guess Shady Green wants to know, can derivative citizenship, can you get derivative citizenship from your mother if she got naturalized when you were 19?
No.
No.
There you go.
Boy, that was easy.
Yes, queen.
That was easy.
Yeah,
yes, 20 in 5 minutes.
We could have did 25, maybe even 30.
We could have done 30 in 5 minutes, and then Guinness may have their interest
They
peaked.
might have hit us up.
They might hit us up at 30. All right.
I love how the squad looks real surprised in the comments, like you guys didn't think we could do it.
Yeah.
We knew we could do it, family. You need to have a little bit more support.
Right.
Comments of the day.
Our very first one, I was really hoping you were going to say it, Brad, is from Julian, who said, Brad, every time you say Julian, I'm like, what did I do?
I low-key think about that too.
Yeah, that's very funny. That's very funny.
All right, our second comment of the day comes from Shanga Oya Ogun saying, "Evening, my second family. Always a pleasure being on here, even though I'm at work."
Oh, wow. Just don't tell your boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or tell your boss.
Right.
But Brad, I'll tell you right now, I watch Bradshaw Live while I'm at work all the time.
Guess what? I do too.
But guess what? You get paid to do it.
Oh, that's right. Best jobs in the world. Our third comment of
Wouldn't
the
that be
day.
great if everyone got paid to do that?
Okay.
Yeah, well,
I'd be broke.
No, I was going to say that would not be great.
That
I
would
would
be
not have a
great.
job probably.
Yeah.
First Lady Hewitt. Girl, you know you were going for a comment of the day with this one. Brad is looking handsome today. Too bad I don't have a chance. I'm going to have to stick to trying to get Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo, I guess you're easier than me.
Damn.
Yo-Yo's easier than me.
I might be. I might be. I'm not as rich as him.
More significantly easier.
All right, we have one from Del Rito saying, "I share today's show and I feel proud of myself."
Right.
Yeah.
Sharing makes you proud of
That's
yourself.
right.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah. And finally, we've got one from Sophia R. Gray, who said, "Uncle Brad, my phone is too small. It seems that I have to get a flat screen TV because everyone's trying to watch my screen."
Wow, we got like multiple people watching one little phone,
One
right?
little phone, no.
Yeah, you got to go out and get the flat screen, right?
that.
Have the viewing experience.
Who's watching us on a 72-inch screen?
Wasn't it Marge Higgs said that?
Maybe it is Marge.
Somebody
It is
said it was a
Grandma
72-inch. I
seeing.
think it was Grandma,
Yeah, I
but
think it
somebody
might
I
be.
remember in the comments once said it's a 72-inch screen. And
Yeah.
they're sitting back and watching, right?
Which is unfortunate for us.
All right, so everyone can shut off this 72-inch flat screen till tomorrow at 5:30. We'll see you then. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm, located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465. What are you doing?